Joining us now is former RNC National Spokeswoman Elizabeth Pipko. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us. Can I get your reaction to the spotlight that's being placed on Nancy Pelosi at the moment, and the president just continues to accuse her of insider trading?
I mean, it's comical because this has been going on for so long, right? If anyone's kind of in tune with that internet culture, people have been accusing her of this for quite some time. They've been following the story for quite some time, and she's been dodging it for quite some time. So I think it's comical that it's still coming up, comical that she hasn't found a way to respond to it either. It shows how not relatable she truly is, and how I think most of us could realize when it's time to kind of bow out of whatever we're doing. She is the definition of why we need term limits. And I think even she might agree with that, because she seems to not really belong anywhere anymore. And I think she knows that even people in her own party kind of want her to step aside because it's not working for them anymore.
I enjoy watching her dodge those questions every time. She doesn't get any better at it. Now, over the weekend, US President Donald Trump brokered another historic peace deal, this time between Armenia and Azerbaijan after nearly 4 decades of conflicts between the two countries. It was resolved with a peace declaration at the White House. Here's the president.
President of the United States.
For more than 35 years, Armenia and Azerbaijan have fought a bitter conflict that resulted in tremendous suffering for both nations. They suffered gravely for so many years. Many tried to find a resolution, including the European Union. The Russians worked very hard on it, never happened. Sleepy Joe Biden tried, but you know what happened there. He tried for probably 12 minutes and didn't work out. And many other countries tried, and they were unsuccessful. But with this accord, we've finally succeeded in making peace.
I love how he notes that it didn't work out when Sleepy Joe Biden tried. But Elizabeth, Trump has ended conflicts now between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel and Iran, India and Pakistan, and there are calls for him to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Look, I think, again, it's a strange time that we're living in, right? And I think even a lot of people that didn't vote for President Trump would admit that they kind of root against him every single day. I think it's sad how politicized things have become, but it's true. And the fact of the matter is, if this was any other president, they would have been nominated for that prize a long time ago. By the way, probably in his first term for the Abraham Accords. But what struck me with this is my job, right? I have to follow politics for a living. And I even found out about this peace deal later than it actually happened. And the average person that I spoke to had no idea, because the media didn't want to cover it, because it looks like another win for President Trump and for the world. And it's sad that we've become so politicized we can't even share in these victories. And the fact that these two nations, like you said, it's been going on for so long, and now there's going to be peace. People are celebrating it, and we can't in America, because that would be a win for President Trump.
Well said. Now, Donald Trump has announced a sweeping crime crackdown in DC, placing the city's police department under federal control and deploying the National Guard to patrol the streets. Now, Trump says he's going to clean it up real quick, like we did on the southern border with illegal immigration. And the homicide rate in DC is among the highest in major US cities. But of course, the Democrats and the mainstream media are in meltdown over Trump's move today. Hilary Clinton claimed that it was unhinged. And this is the coverage on MSNBC.
Chris, to be honest with you, I'm trying to hold my temper. I think there's an ongoing argument that he's having in his head with Black Lives Matter. There's an ongoing argument that he's having with the questions around criminal justice reform and police reform. It's interesting that he really doesn't really care about what's actually happening in D.C. on a certain level, because he's not trying to get at the underlying root causes. He's not looking at examples of how to address rising crime rates that doesn't require a form of policing that leads to increased incarcerality and the like. Let's look at what's going on in Baltimore. Let's look at what's happening actually in places like Baltimore and Chicago, right? So part of what we have to do is to understand. And Oakland. We have to understand this, Chris, within the context of Donald Trump's racial politics and within the context of his effort to get Epstein off the front pages.
Elizabeth, I want to get your thoughts on Trump's decision and also that analysis on MSNBC that this is actually part of Trump's racial politics.
I mean, look, the mental gymnastics that it takes, right, to convince yourself that President Trump trying to make a city that he's obviously personally impacted by to make a city safer and cleaner and better for the people that he works with every single day, for many that he personally knows that have been impacted by that rise in crime. The fact that that could be turned into something bad and twisted in that way just proves how much people hate him more than they love our country. It's a sad reality. And I also don't understand the innuendo that he's being racist. I think it's actually kind of the other way. They're being racist by assuming that when he says he wants to fix violent crime, that means something against any other race. All it means is that crime is out of control. And if parents are scared to walk with their children in the streets, something has to be done. And who is better to fix something in the president of the United States?
Yeah, absolutely right.